Hi, it's Lillian from Accent Practice, and today I'm going to be talking about the many different sounds of T. I'm going to be covering 5 different sounds, including the true T, the held T, the flap T, the dropped T, and finally, the most difficult of all, the glottal stop T. Now, just a warning, I'm going to be covering each of these pretty quickly, so don't get overwhelmed. I will be posting other videos to explore each sound more in depth. Let's start with the true pronunciation of T. This is probably the one that you're most familiar with. It's created by building up the air in your mouth, stopping it, and then releasing it with your tongue in a puff of breath. T, as in tongue. Some of my clients have difficulty with this sound because they aren't releasing the air enough. So instead of saying tongue, they say tongue. This is because they need to release the air a little bit more to say tongue. You can find the true T at the beginnings of words and stressed syllables, as in tan, tomorrow, deter. But you can also find it after most of the consonant sounds, react. It is important to note, however, that you do not release the T after the consonants L, R, and N. We'll talk about that in our next section. Try out these true T words. Tomorrow, triangle, today. Next on our list is the held T, which is basically a half pronunciation of the true T. It's created by having your tongue come up to stop the air, but not releasing it in a puff. So instead of saying at, it should sound like at. Listen to this sentence. It was a great night. Now listen again. It was a great night. The first version sounded a little bit choppy because I was using the true T, which is common among many non-native speakers. It can be corrected by using the held T at the ends of these words. Listen again for the held T. It was a great night. The held T comes at the ends of words after vowel sounds, R's, L's, and M's. Try out these examples. Cat, taught, right, boot, knee. You may have already heard of, or at least noticed, this third T sound, the flap T. It is the quick D sound that you hear in words like better, city. We do not use the true T here. That would sound like better, city. Instead, we have a quick flap of the tongue to make a rapid D sound. Better, city. The flap T is found in between vowel sounds and R's and L's. Unlike the true T, the flap T is found only in unstressed syllables, so it is not in words like attain, deter. Check out my video on practicing the flap T sound in order to master the sound in words and in sentences. For now, try out these examples. Creator, pattern, waiting, pretty, bottle. Fourth on our list is the dropped T in words like advantage, internet, disappointed. It most often occurs after an N and before a vowel sound, an L sound, and an R sound. It's important to note that the syllable right before the dropped T must be really stressed in order to retain that dropped, unstressed syllable. Listen to these words so that you can see how the T is dropped. Plenty, percent of, hasten. Hasten is a little bit of an exception because the drop T also comes after an S and before a short I sound, I. Hasten, listen. Finally, we have the glottal stop T, which is by far the most difficult sounds of all these pronunciations. This is because it doesn't involve the use of the tongue at all. In fact, the tongue stays down. This glottal stop occurs from the throat, as in the phrase, uh-oh. When we say uh-oh, we stop the air with our throat, We don't say oh, that's continuous airflow. We stop the air, and then say oh. This glottal stop occurs in words like curtain, frighten. Again, we're not saying curtain or frighten. We're not even using our tongue to come up. Curtain, frighten. Those are incorrect examples. We stop the air. Curtain, frighten. The rules for where to find the glottal stop T are that first off, it's always going to be in an unstressed syllable. And secondly, the T always comes before an N sound or an N syllable, as in the word button. You may think that button has a flat T because it comes between two vowel sounds, but in this case, the glottal stop T always overrules the flap T pattern. Now listen to these words with the glottal stop so that you can hear what it sounds like and also try to practice on your own. Gluten, certain, frighten, mountain, button. I highly suggest that if you're trying to practice this sound, that you get some feedback from an accent specialist. Because many of my clients, when they try to start off with this sound, they make the mistake of making like a D sound, button, or having continuous airflow, bun. When I give them feedback, they're able to adjust what they're doing so that they practice it and get it right. Button, curtain. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, comments, or even suggestions, please do leave them below. Have a wonderful day and happy practicing!